the feeling.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Exiles from what you ask? Exiled from the radio. But now, we're on your television.
I'm Bill Perfita, he's Kevin Gallagher, and they kicked us to the curb.
But we're back.
We are back with Exiles Television on the Pelican Broadcasting Network. We're going to bring you the newsmakers. We're also going to take your calls and give you great information. It's going to be the best damn radio show on television.
Look for it on your cable system or download the app, PelicanSportsTV.com.
Eric Gaylord is back, but where has he been?
I read on the internet that guy was abducted by aliens.
Rated
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hello and welcome to another week of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping that your weekend was an absolutely fabulous one. If not, well, as we like to say each and every Monday, right about this time of the day, if you did not, good Lord willing, you will still be here when the next one rolls our way, and you'll have the opportunity to try it all over again. Father's Day weekend, obviously, huge weekend all across America. And if you are so fortunate as to still have your father living, hopefully you took the time to let Dad know just how much he means to you this weekend. I am, as a baby boomer, one of those individuals that is in the season of life where our parents start to leave the scene. I never thought the day would come when I would be the only Bugs living in Louisiana. Mom passing away, father passing away, and it is something only those of us who no longer have our parents can fully, truly appreciate. You probably hear people say from time to time, I would give anything to be able to hug my mom just one more time. I would give anything to be able to spend some time with my dad just one more time. Take it from someone who no longer has their mother or father with them, that when people say that, they truly mean it. Yesterday, spent some time reminiscing about what most of us think. And for those of you that don't think this, you have my sincerest, heartfelt apologies. But most of us like to think our dad was the greatest dad in the world. And in the case of my father, for those of you that don't know, I'm a military brat, Army brat, grew up in a military household. And the reason I grew up in a military household is because one summer when my late father went to visit his soon-to-be wife, Hazel Fontenot, in Eunice, Louisiana. He, without warning, showed up unannounced at my mother's home, my grandmother, Joyce Richardson. As just about all college kids did back then, when you were out of school for semester break, holiday, whatever, typically in the summer though, you went out and picked cotton to earn extra money to take back to school with you. And sure enough, my mother, off for the semester, went out to earn some extra money to pick cotton. Got overheated that day out in the field picking cotton, and the rest of the young people that were there with her, also earning some extra money, took her home to my grandmother's. So my dad, unannounced, stopped by the house and obviously was surprised to see my mother there. And she was laying in the bed, and my father could obviously tell something wasn't right. So he asked my mom, "Why are you here? Why are you in the bed this time of day? What's going on? You don't look well." And she had to fess up. She told him, she said, "Ed," short for Edward, "I went out to earn some extra money today and went to pick cotton, and I got overheated." My father was incensed. He said, "No wife of mine will ever have to pick cotton to earn money for going to school." The very next day, he joined the United States Army, served his country wearing the uniform for 28 years. He didn't point his finger at someone else, because society as it was then, my mom had to pick cotton to earn extra money. He didn't sit on his pity pot saying, "Woe is me," because of the circumstance that I find myself in. Instead, my father stepped up to the plate, took what was available to him, and made the most of it. As a result of his nearly 30 years of serving our country, his family benefited from that. I was born overseas in Würzburg, Germany. Went back for 2 years when he was deployed again when I was in sixth grade, to Kaiserslautern, Germany. All of these experiences helped to make me the person that I am today. And it was only because my father decided to improve his lot in life and the lot in life of his soon bride-to-be. This was something that he had to do. And for that, I will forever be grateful. My father was one of those rare breed of individuals that, to be quite honest with you, they don't make them like that anymore. A lot of baby boomers, you can relate to this. He was a man of principle, and he stood by his guns. And he had this way about him that you knew what was right and you knew what was wrong. I will never forget freshman year of college. And for those of you, again, that don't know, after my father retired from the military, he went into private business. We had a couple of grocery stores, we had delicatessen, we had a couple of operations in Catfish Town. He loved private business. And growing up without his father in his life gave him a determination that he would have things that his absent father was not there to provide for him. So, as could be expected, living in a military household, I had obligations. I went to school at Southern University during the day. In the evenings, I went to band practice, marching in the Human Jukebox. After band practice, I would then go to the family grocery store and put in my hours for work. One weekend, I remember this like it was yesterday. One weekend, actually it was on a Friday, I get up that morning, I go to school, I go to band practice that afternoon, I go to the store and work until midnight when the store closed. So I go home and I jump in the shower, changed clothes, and I'm getting ready to head out the door. And my father says, "Where are you going?" I said, "Well, my good friend Hubert right down the street is having a party, and I thought I'd go pop in and, take in a little bit of the party." My father didn't bat an eye. He said, "We don't leave out of this house after midnight." And I said, "Dad, Sarge, I did my part today. I fulfilled all of my obligations. I got up today, this morning, I went to school. I came back home after school. I went back on campus for band practice. I finished the band practice. I went to the store, to the family business, and I put in a good 6 hours. I did my part." My father didn't blink. He said, "Son, we don't leave out of this house after midnight." Y'all, before I knew it, the words had come up and come out. I said, "Well, maybe it's time I find my own roof." Sarge still didn't blink. He said, "Well, maybe it is." I said, "Well, maybe it is." At this point, neither one of us are going to back down. So the next day, I took the only thing I owned to my name other than my car. And I was still paying notes, so I didn't really own the car. I took a pair of speakers, about 3 feet, 4 feet tall, to a pawn shop. First time I'd ever set foot in a pawn shop in my life. 2 of my buddies had fallen out with their parents pretty much over the same thing. So we decided we're gonna show them, we're gonna get our own apartment. So to get my third of the rent, I had to pawn the only thing I had to my name. So we get the apartment, right? Then it dawns on me. Not only have I talked my way out of a roof over my head, I've also talked my way out of a job, because I can't go back to the family business now, right? Okay? So immediately, I do what people did back then. I stop, I buy a newspaper, I open up the classifieds, and I see WXOK is looking for a DJ and a news person. By the time I got to the station, they'd already hired the DJ. So the program director, Al J. Wallace, says, are you interested in the news position? And I guess he figured I should know something about news because I had a brother who was the 6 and 10 anchor for the ABC affiliate, WBRZ in Baton Rouge. I said, "Yes, sir, I'm interested." He said, "Okay, you know how to work a reel-to-reel?" I said, "Sure." I was the kid growing up that had all the stereo equipment in his room. So I go in the back in the production room. I did one take. I read the news stories and recorded it. I walked back out. I said, "Mr. Wallace, I'm finished." He said, "You sure? Already?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "All right, have a seat. Let me go back here and take a listen." 5 minutes later, he comes back out. He looks at me and says, "Can you start tomorrow?" I'm saying to myself, "Bruh, I could start yesterday. I need a job." I had talked my way out of a job. That was the beginning of 40 years of broadcasting. Didn't find out till many years later. Little caveat. My mother was a very avid bowler, traveled all around the country bowling. Just so happened the weekend my father and I fell out about the party, she was out of town. She didn't hear this story until 30 years later. Of course, now, it didn't help any that I had, told this pretty girl that I was coming by the party to see her after I got off from work. It's not like I was just standing up for myself. I had made a date, to go to the party. 30 years later, and this is what a real dad does. 30 years later, we're rehashing the story, and my mother's there. And we're all talking about it, and we're laughing about it. And my father turns to me and he says, son, I want you to know, when you did what you did that night, I have never been more proud of you in my life, because you decided you were going to stand up for yourself, even if it meant losing the roof over your head and the job to make a living. And you went out and made your own way. I'll never forget that. Love you, Dad. Love you much. First break of hour one. If you're still so fortunate as to have your father and or your mother, hug them while you got them. Hug them while you got them. First break of hour one, and we're back with more right here on the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Hi gang, Clarence Buggs here. Cox Cable is upgrading the signal from the Pelican, but to catch us, you're going to have to tune in now to a new number. Acadiana, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Gramercy, Lutcher. Check your guide for details.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Welcome back to hour one of today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. Thank you, God, the rain held off. If you are in the capital region, you are probably experiencing, as I look out of the window here at Scoreboards, what is just an absolutely kind of Monday. But I guess, you know, in the grand scheme of things, because I'm a guy that's big on context and looking at the big picture, in the grand scheme of things, we're here to see it. We're here to enjoy it. So, as my late Dad would have said, shut up and do your job, son. End of discussion. Unfortunately, and I was hoping that this would not be the case, but deep down inside, I knew better. Every time we go through some big event in society these days. Unfortunately, we are witnesses to the best that humanity has to offer and the worst that humanity has to offer. Ever since the COVID-19 pandemic started, we have been regularly keeping in touch with Carmen Million with the Better Business Bureau of South Central Louisiana, all the various BBBs and different organizations that are looking out for our best interest. Because, quite frankly, the scam artists are everywhere on a regular good day. And when something like this happens, it's like they run to the medicine cabinet and get a steroid shot or something, you know, and just go scam crazy in that regard. But the BBB is warning you and I to be on the lookout for scammers impersonating COVID-19 contact tracers. It is bad enough that we've only had about 50% of the expected calls answered for contact tracing. And now we find out that, you know, folks are out there imitating contact tracers and attempting to scam you for your money and personal information. These phishing attempts come in the form of unsolicited messages, text messages, emails, social media messages, in which they claim that we have information that you've come in contact with someone who is tested positive for COVID-19. You're then advised to click on a link that's included in this message. The link may well contain malware. Another version of this scam comes in the form of a robocall. These calls will prompt you to speak with the representative to discuss recommendations because, again, we have it on good information that you've been exposed to COVID-19. The, quote, representative, thank you, Peter, for walking right across my shot. Y'all saw Roger Cador's hat just now when he came walking across the shot? The robocall, there he goes again. Say hi, coach. Yeah, you walk right in front of the camera. Yeah, you saw it right there? Yeah, there you go. The representative on the other end of the phone, after informing you, hey, we've got it on good authority that you've been exposed to COVID-19, they will then request personal information, including full name, date of birth. But before you know it, the questions then start quickly moving toward asking you to reveal personal information about financial accounts and things of that nature. The Better Business Bureau says it is best to hang up or ignore the messages. Contact tracers, by the way, will ask for you to confirm your identity, but they will not, and I stress again, they will not ask you for financial information. Contact tracers will also automatically, at the beginning of a call, identify themselves. That way, you can write down the name, you'll know what agency they are with, so on and so forth. Contact tracing is normally only done by phone. So if you get an email, if you get a text message, blow it off. It's probably a scam. Also, the link, if you're wondering whether or not it's real, double check the URL at the beginning of the web address. That typically can be a dead giveaway. And by the way, if the number is not coming from 877-766-2130, don't even bother with it. That is the official Louisiana contact tracing number, 877-766-2130. That's the only number that you need to remember. And unfortunately, speaking of the scammers, if you've received a message about your EBT card being overcharged. Be on the lookout for that as well. The Better Business Bureau says phony text messages are circulating with an offer helping to help you get your financial affairs, quote, back in order. Typically, they're going to start asking for a lot of personal information. Typically, they're going to be this kind of sketchy sounding individual on the other end. And these texts, by the way, also there's a scam circulating as we speak in the same fashion dealing with your debit cards. Hi, this is so-and-so from your bank, and we're wondering about, are you aware of these unauthorized charges on your debit card? And immediately you panic. Immediately. Most people freak out, you know, because the person sounds kind of official. They know what bank you're with. Don't fall for it, guys, girls. First of all, consider how your bank normally contacts you. Is this the way they typically interact with you in something of this nature? If it's not, red flag. Also, if you are in fact that worried about it, then contact your bank directly or the institution that issues your credit card. Do that, save yourself a whole lot of trouble and a whole lot of sleepless nights, as if you didn't already have enough stuff to worry about, right? Yeah, there you go. And finally, it's as though these people never sleep, y'all. It's like they never sleep. The FTC, Federal Trade Commission, has filed a lawsuit against a Louisiana-based company and its founder for failing to stop a scheme that allegedly sent people ads in the mail that looks like important COVID-19 stimulus check information. The envelopes were bright orange with the words time sensitive, fast track mail, opened immediately, and important COVID-19 stimulus document enclosed. Typically, with things being what they are these days, you see that, oh my God, stimulus check, money, that's the first thing you rip open, and boy, you're going, you know, especially if you've done the right thing and have gone through all the necessary channels and haven't received money. The FTC, Federal Trade Commission, says that they were sent these letters to people from the Louisiana-based Traffic Jam Events LLC and its owner, David Johnson II. Come to find out, this company was attempting to steer people through these fraudulent letters to buying used cars out of Florida. The, quote, stimulus check could only be redeemed at this particular dealership in Florida. Listen, y'all, the rule of thumb, and you can apply this to pretty much anything in life. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. There's no such thing as a free lunch, y'all. Oh, Clarence, wait a minute now, Clarence. My kid eats lunch free at school every day. Well, your child is the beneficiary of somebody else's tax dollars. There's no such thing as a free lunch. Somebody is paying for it somewhere down the line. If it sounds too good to be true, y'all, it probably is. That is just the nature of the beast. And at the end of the day, you work hard for your money. At the end of the day, you go out of your way not to harm other people. And at the end of the day, we would all like to think that the rest of the world is like us. Wrong answer. Wrong answer. They are behind every tree, nook, and cranny. When the scammers come out, there pretty much isn't anything they won't do. You know, well, yeah, Debbie, thank you, except work. Well, for them, I guess that's work, you know. But again, my late father used to say, if they spent just a portion of that time trying to do the right thing the right way, think how much better off we'd all be. Just a little something to make you go, Speaking of great dads, speaking of great father figures, after we get this bottom of the hour break out of the way, a guy that was a dad for countless young men, a guy that is the epitome of the American dream, the son of a sharecropper, going places, doing things, a legacy. And I'm sure he's got some fond remembrances of both his dad and how those lessons made him into the man that he is today. Roger Cador, dear friend of the show, a friend of athletics, a friend of Louisiana, and a friend of America, is up next on the Clarence Bugg Show, right where you've got it, here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
For total home pest control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Welcome back as we continue hour 1 of our Monday edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. No, let me put your mind at ease. You did not fall asleep and wake up and it's September. It is not time for the Roger Cador Show just yet. Got a few more weeks around the corner. How are you, big fella?
Fine, and you, Clarence?
I'm well. I'm loving the hat. Have y'all ever seen Coach in a hat? We've seen you in caps before. What brought this on, man?
Well, August of last year, I went into the country of Ecuador.
Right.
And my taxi driver took me to this place, and they had a lot of stores with a lot of different things. And
right.
I like, I do have hats at home, but I never wear them. So I go in there and started looking at the hat, and he said, "Oh, that would look good on you." And the owner, the lady who spoke good English,
right,
Said, try it on. I did, and she said, you look good in this.
Is that the only hat you have from Ecuador?
No, I bought about 5 or 6 because I bought some for some friends.
Okay.
So I bought some and distributed them, because the prices were good. And they're all handmade.
And that was going to be the next question. If I go here in America looking for whatever, shirt, cap, hat, pants, belt, shoes, whatever, more than likely, if I turn it inside out or turn it over and look at the label, it's going to say made in Vietnam, made in China. Do they actually hand make them in Ecuador?
Handmade in Ecuador. I mean, those people, I bought some blankets, handmade blankets that would cost $200, $300, $400, $500 here.
Right.
And I paid little or nothing. And these people, everything is handmade. They don't have the machinery.
Right.
And they, they make things. And I mean, I'm amazed how they do it and the patience that they take to make that stuff.
What is the quality like? Typically, when you make something by hand, and this is nothing against, automated factories and this, that, and the other. But I've always thought when you make something by hand, you have a little more pride in the product. Have you found that to be the case?
All of the products I bought in those countries I've gone, it's made really well and lasts a long time.
Right.
And it's no rush thing. It takes these people a year. Like you've seen me with some of the ties I've worn.
Right.
And those are handmade ties.
Wow.
And it may take them 6 months to make one tie.
Right. Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So because all of that, remember, those people have nothing else to do. This is their trade. This is what they do. So each one, when you see them, I see some of the people making hats, and I look at how they do it. It's just amazing.
Right. And unlike the United States, we've become a disposable society. You buy something, it breaks, throw it in the garbage, you go get another. I never noticed that before, and it took me maybe 20 years ago I realized. In a lot of countries, you have to work and save for so long that when you buy something, you've got to be darn sure it's going to last for a long time, because it took you so long to save up enough money to get that. And a lot of people are of the opinion that's why leading up to maybe the last 20 years or so, Japanese cars were so much more reliable than ours, because it took them 10, 15 years to save up for a car. So when they finally got one, the last thing they wanted was a car that had to be in the shop every other month. We've become such a disposable society that I just wonder sometimes if our quality doesn't suffer because of that.
It's amazing you mentioned car, because the taxi driver car in Ecuador was a Chevrolet made car. Not a big car, one of the smallest cars that Chevrolet made.
Right.
And I said, they made that car so good, because in Ecuador, they have to make a good quality deliver, because it'll fall apart because of the roads.
The roads are so bad.
So I said, why don't they make this quality of car in America?
Yeah.
That car would fall apart, the car made in America, and we taken it to Ecuador.
Right.
And I did compliment the man. I said, wow, that car in America, it's nothing like this. You can literally tear it apart with your hand.
Right. Well,
but they did send a better product to Ecuador.
Yeah.
I have to give them that.
Our society is such that the transmission repair company's got to make a living.
Right.
The upholstery company, those folks have got to make a living. The shock absorbers and ride control folks have got to make a living. The paint and body people have got to make a living. So if you make a car that's going to last easily 15, 20 years, these folk don't make any money. And you got to turn that money over in the economy.
And the other thing, they don't make very many automatic cars, knowing the transmission is going to tear up.
Right.
They give them the standard, that's what we call, which lasts a lot longer. And another thing about Ecuador, I know we need to get off, but they use the American dollar there.
Right.
And that's so they're keenly aware of the value of the dollar. Opposed to when I went to Peru, they used their own money, and the taxi driver picked us up, let's say 10 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
9 o'clock at night, he's dropping us out, and he only wanted $13.
Wow.
I felt bad, so I passed the gentleman $100.
Bless
and
your
he
heart.
jumped out of his skin, literally. And I said, how could he make it? But when you put that $13 into their dollars,
right,
it's a lot more money. So, so I mentioned that. That's one of the things you learn about traveling, the value people place on certain things.
Yep.
That in America we take for granted.
And Coach, that's a perfect segue. Most Americans have never set foot outside this country. And Louisiana has the highest percentage of people who have never lived anywhere other than Louisiana. Do you think, Coach, if more people had the opportunity to visit other countries around the world, that it might give us a greater appreciation for what we have here at home?
There is no doubt in my mind that they'll see this situation completely different. Their whole mindset will change. Because here these countries, most of the 80 to 90% of the people are extremely poor.
Yeah.
But they have pride in what they have. And family is so, they put God and family so high on the list where we may not do it here.
Right.
I mean, family is everything to them over there.
Oh, yeah.
If they don't have something, the family member kicks in. That's the way they do it.
Yeah.
And so I've learned quite a lesson from the different cultures that I've been in. And they've helped me because being the kind of guy I am, I talk to everybody.
Oh, yeah. I can attest to that.
Whether I can speak the language or not, and I find a way to communicate. So
this guy truly is the epitome of having never met a stranger. All the years that we've been doing your show, I still chuckle. People will be walking through the hotel, going to their room. Hey, you want to be on TV? Yeah, it's just amazing, and but that's just who you are. All right, let's talk dads. What do you remember most about your dad, Coach?
Well, that he was very smart without the opportunity to ever having a chance to go to school. See, you have to know something. You admire how he used his hand and his mind and not say a whole lot because it took me, the two people who read in my household was me and my dad. We were the two people who read.
And your household, how many siblings again?
Only two, it was three of us and my mother. So
of the five of you, only two of the people in the house could read.
I then said could read that we read.
Okay.
Obviously my sister could read, but the thing is, my father, what we would do is that we would take, if I bought a newspaper, we would take turn reading that newspaper. I got a very important call that's coming in.
Not a problem. We're going to commercial break in 2 minutes.
Okay.
We can call them right back.
Okay. And that's the one thing. But I noticed how he could navigate his way through things on the farm. And he was a very successful farmer. Looked like everything he touched turned to gold. And the other thing was he could see things that nobody else could see. And I was always amazed. And he would tell me, look, son, there's a rabbit over there. I mean, maybe 60 feet, 70 feet, and I can't see nothing with the grass. He said, go over there, you can catch him. And I'll go over there, and there's a rabbit.
Wow.
I mean, and the thing was, you tell a guy how successful they are, how they're able to take care of their family.
Right.
Whenever he went hunting, he always came back with something.
Yeah.
He never failed.
Yeah.
And I grew up on the farm. My daddy was a hunter. I've never shot a gun in my life. Marty, Alan, never shot a gun in my life.
Wow.
I'm really afraid of them.
And growing up in rural Point Capee. And never shot a gun.
Never shot a gun.
Wow. What are some of the most valuable lessons that your dad taught you?
Well, we got a lot of issue with people with race. It's a big issue now.
Oh yeah.
And as a kid, I was growing up, and I knew that we weren't being treated right.
Right.
And my daddy wasn't being treated right. And one day he and I alone had that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And he said to me, son, you think if that man knew any better, he would treat us this way?
Mm-hmm.
And boy, he stunned me with that.
Right.
Because everybody's mad because they're treating him. And
Right.
his attitude that if you think he knew any better, he would treat us this way.
Wow.
It stuck with me, Clarence, until I was an adult, and I realized that he was right.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those people didn't know why they were treating us wrong.
Right.
It wasn't because we were doing anything. We were good. We were working for free.
Right.
You're never going to get it any better.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But he said if he knew any better, do you think he would treat us this way?
Wow.
So that stuck with me, and he taught me a great lesson in dealing with people as I matriculated down in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And my life is better because of the few words that we had with each other.
Right.
And the most memorable one was when we had that conversation about when I didn't want to be a part of farming anymore. I wanted to go to school.
Ooh, I bet that was fun.
The beautiful part is we had the wagon separated. He sat on the east side, stood on the east side of the wagon. I was on the west side of the wagon.
So you had a little buffer zone.
We had the
between
buffer,
you.
the buffer. And when, and we talking, and I said, this is not what I want to do.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to be a problem for you. I want to go to school. He said, son, you don't know what you're talking about. I said, yes, I do. Mm-hmm. And almost with tear in his eyes, he looked at me and said, go.
Wow.
That's one of the most famous words he's ever said to me. Go.
Wow.
And
wow.
And by me doing that, being the last of 3 kids, where everybody had 10, 12, 15 kids in their family.
Right.
He had nobody else to depend on.
Mm-hmm.
And he stopped farming, and he came to Baton Rouge and worked construction work with Caldwell Construction Company.
Yeah.
He was a part of building that Hilton Hotel, which is the Marriott Hotel now.
Can you appreciate today what it took for your father to say go?
It was the hardest thing in his life. Mm-hmm. Remember, the last kid who could have gotten maybe 8, 5, 6, 7 years left out of me.
Right. Right.
For the man.
Right.
And he was now not going to get it.
Uh-huh.
And he had to make a complete life adjustment.
Oh, yeah.
He had to become independent now where he was dependent on the man.
Right.
But the thing about it, when he came and worked, he got money every week. And he would talk about the eagle is flying on Fridays.
Eagle flies on
Most
Friday.
people don't know what that means. You see, you have to be in that situation to understand the eagle is flying today.
Uh-huh.
But he was a happier man for the first time in his life.
Wow.
He could bring money gift to my mother. He could never do that before.
Bless his
He
heart.
had worked all his life and never made one penny.
Right.
And for the first time, he made money where he could bring home and he could take care of his family.
Wow.
That was the beauty of that decision. You see, and he and I never got to really talk about that decision.
Right.
But he saw the outcome because he got to see me play college baseball. He got to see me coach before he passed in '93. So he got to see some success of the decision he made by allowing me to get that education.
I would never be so presumptuous as to pretend that I could speak for your father. But in my situation, and I told this story at the beginning of the show, having fallen out with my dad after going to school that day, going to Southern, going to band practice, working in the family store, and wanted to go to a party that night. And he told me, he said, son, we don't leave out of this house after midnight. And we went back and forth for about 10 minutes. Before I knew it, Coach, I told him, I said, well, maybe it's time I get my own route.
You told me that story before.
And 30 years later, Coach, the opportunity presented itself, and he told me, he said, son, I have never been so proud of you in my life. Because you stood up for yourself.
That's right.
And you went out and made your own way. And I can only think that your dad felt the same way.
Yeah, he just never said it to me, but I know he did.
You know he did.
Because he saw me break away.
Yeah.
I broke a vicious cycle that couldn't be broken.
And you were successful at it.
Well, I couldn't fail. That I knew.
Yeah, really.
I really knew that I could not fail, that I had to be successful.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't go back and look.
Couldn't go back.
Couldn't. Once I made that step, I had to keep going.
And even if he allowed you back, you would still always have that in the back of your mind, hanging over your head. So failure was not an option.
It was not an option. That's why I never got angry. I took the abuse. Whatever came my way, I had to keep forging forward through the darkness, through the wilderness, through difficulty, and just kept going forward.
Going to baseball practice with everything the whole program owned in one shopping cart.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're a little late. Need to get this break out of the way and give Roger a chance to return that important phone call. Keep it where you've got it, right here. The Monday edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Exiles from what you ask? Exiled from the radio. But now we're on your television.
I'm Bill Profita. He's Kevin Gallagher, and they kicked us to the curb.
But we're back.
We are back with Exiles Television on the Pelican Broadcasting Network. We're going to bring you the newsmakers. We're also going to take your calls and give you great information. It's going to be the best damn radio show on television.
Look for it on your cable system or download the app, PelicanSportsTV.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Welcome back to hour one of today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. Just in case you all thought that, old Clarence is pulling your leg and trying to raise false flags with the scams, Coach told me off air just now, man, I heard you talking about the scams. I got one of the calls just this weekend. They are no respecter of person. They will scam you, whether you are a great floor camera producer like Marty, just an old regular talk show guy like me, or nationally known Roger Cador. They don't care. They will scam you if they can. Coach, how many of the problems that we are facing in society today do you think are due to us not having real dads like we should have in this country?
Well, you can't put it all in one basket, Clarence. I think you have to put a little bit in individual baskets.
Right.
Obviously, that have contributed
to
a tremendous amount of problems. But there are other problems also associated with that. I go back and I've tried to explain to people, when I look at from my time on this earth and the black families, I try to understand why so many black fathers just go away. Well, I had to do a little research in the beginning.
Right.
Black men couldn't pick their wife. The slave owner picked the wife for him. He put the strongest black man with the strongest black woman, and the man went from women to woman to woman.
Right.
And that's that thing. And kids have grown up seeing this. And to a large extent, they adopt what the environment taught them.
Right.
And that's a part of it. Now you go in lack of education. You put a lot of other things in there, lack of opportunities. You put them all in these baskets, and you got a lot of problems.
But would not that father leadership in the home help steer us clear of a lot of those problems?
In some cases, it will. Not in all.
Right.
There is no perfect situation.
Oh, no. That's the truth. That's the
And in
God-honest
some cases,
truth.
it would help. You know, it's nothing like having a positive figure in your home that you can go to for advice, that you see doing good things.
What was it like being a father of sorts for so many kids on a team every year for all those years?
Well, I had a responsibility, sort of like I couldn't fail, because they were dependent on me. And the mother told me, which many of them were single mothers, help make a man out of my son.
Yeah.
Because they knew they couldn't do it at home.
Right. Yeah.
And I had obligation to try to do my very best, because my wife and I had that conversation on many occasions. I can't just use that kid for my benefit to win games.
Right.
I got to help give him something that he needs.
Yeah.
You see, I said, this kid is helping me keep a job, earn money to take care of a family. Now I got to give him something back. A lot of coaches don't look at it that way.
Oh, yeah.
And we used to talk about how important it was to nurture them. So I had an obligation to do my very best. I had a conversation last night with one of my great players who didn't have a daddy, never knew his daddy.
Right.
And he said, I wish you can see the text he wrote me. He said, thanks for being the father I never had.
Wow.
You put me on the road to success in life.
Outstanding.
Now, he's a married man. You see what I'm saying? It takes 20, 30 years sometimes to reap benefits, but you got to do them.
Yeah.
You know?
You have no choice.
Yeah.
If you had not been a coach, what would you have been professionally?
I really don't know. If I have to go back in the beginning, my mother wanted me to be a preacher.
Really?
Yeah, that's what she used to say. Boy, you're wasting your time with that sport. I want you to be a preacher. And
the righteous Reverend Roger Cador.
That's what she, she was telling me I was wasting my time. And all I did was ever smile. I never argued with her.
Right.
And what I would have been, I don't know what I would have been, because I've never had job. I only had 2 jobs in my life.
Right. Wow.
Just 2 jobs. I mean, basketball assistant and baseball. I don't consider playing professional baseball a job.
Right.
Even though it is a profession.
Well, yeah.
But, I mean, those are the only things I've ever done.
That's amazing. And you make me think about the late, great legend, Eddie Robinson. When I would ask him, Coach, what are you most proud of in your life? And it wouldn't take 2 seconds before the answer would come out. He'd say, Bugs, what I am most proud of is 50 years, 1 school, and 1 wife. 1 job, 1 school, 1 wife for 50 years. They don't make them like that anymore.
No.
He is a guy that if you ever get the opportunity to talk to, it will be time well spent. Roger Cador, can't wait till the fall, my friend. Hopefully everything will be getting back to normal, and we will get to have some fun, and I'll get to call you Peter all over again.
Stupster. Al, you out there, Al?
Top of the hour, we get this done. After this, we shall move right along to hour 2 of the Monday edition of the Clarence Buggs Show right here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hi gang, Clarence Buggs here. Some big changes are coming to the Pelican and Cox Cable. July 15th, our numbers are changing. We're easier to find and we're in high def. New Orleans, Gramercy, Lutcher, Acadiana, Patterson, Baton Rouge, new numbers coming and a brand new signal. It all happens July 15th on Cox Cable. Do your buddy Clarence a favor, will you? Get all the details by checking your local guide.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Welcome back as we start hour 2 of our Monday edition of the Clarence Buggs Show. No, this is not Roger Cador without the hat. This is not Roger Cador without the hat. We are so very blessed to have with us to kick off hour 2 a man that loves his city, loves our parish, our state, and our nation. The mayor of the great city of Baker, Mayor Darnel Waits, joins us. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing excellent. How about you?
I'm well. Now, you said off camera just now when I said, my friend, how you doing? Say what you said then.
I said, what did I say? We were talking.
Something about even when you're not?
I said, I'm doing good even when I'm not. And that is something that's been with me for years and years and years, because bad things happen,
right?
But does not mean that you have to let those bad things stop you from moving forward.
Where did you get that from? Where did that mindset that Darnel Waits operates under, where'd that come from?
That's that military mindset. You know, that's that military mindset. When things are bad, you still got to keep plugging and you still got to stay positive. And so you keep your mind focused on what's good about what's bad. Because there's always something good that's going to come out of something bad.
Right. Wow.
And that's the way we operate at the city of Baker.
When you get out of politics, if ever, we need to get together, you and I, see if we can put that in a bottle.
That's right.
And get a contract with Walmart. We could make some money.
We can make some money.
We could make some money. You all hear me talk all the time. I never served in the military, but my father, and I'll tell the condensed version of the story. When my father met my mother, first of all, he was visiting her city, and I forget for what, but he wanted to go to church that Sunday morning. Showed up at church, and there was no one there to teach that Sunday school class. My mother was running late.
Right.
So he's from Winfield, Louisiana. He's visiting Eunice, Louisiana, over in St. Landry Parish.
Yes.
He raised his hand and said, well, I'll teach the lesson. So my mother comes in to Sunday school a little late, and you got to understand, my mother was like a foot to a foot and a half taller than my dad.
Right, right.
And she's wondering, who is this little old short man I've never seen in my life teaching my Sunday school class? So that's how they met. Later on, she comes home, as most kids did back then during the summer break from college at Southern, and to earn extra money, she picked cotton, as all the kids did back then. Got overheated in the fields, passed out, they brought her home. Just so happened Dad stopped by that day to see her mom, my grandmother. When he found out what had happened, Mayor, he was incensed. He said, no wife of mine will ever have to pick cotton as long as I'm the head of this household. The next day, he joined the United States Army and spent 28 years wearing the uniform and serving the country. He didn't wallow on the pity pot.
That's right.
He didn't point his finger at other segments of society that had put him in this situation.
Right.
He saw what was available.
That's right.
And he used what he had at his disposal. As a result, I was born in Germany on his second tour overseas. As a result, I got to live for 2 years in Germany in 6th grade when he was stationed overseas again. But none of that would have been possible had he not looked at things the way Darnel Waits looks at things. And y'all can say what you will, but I am of the opinion the Israelis have it right. When you turn 18, male or female, mandatory, you give 2 years to your country. And it gives people a greater appreciation, not only for what they have, but also, how did you say it? How to find the good in something bad?
Try to find that good in something bad.
So,
always.
Let's talk about good in bad. How is the city of Baker faring?
We're doing great.
With COVID-19 right now.
We're doing great. We are poised to continue to keep people healthy. Because this is not our first rodeo.
Right.
We came out the box with the flood. We created a blueprint with the long-term recovery.
Right.
That takes us through disasters and takes us through things, the challenges, to keep moving forward.
Wow.
We stay focused.
Right.
Best decision I ever made to do that long-term recovery plan. Me and you talked about it.
Right.
And so that's where we are with the pandemic. Our city, I mean, we've been hit like every other city, but the people are resilient.
Oh, yeah.
But that's leadership, and you know that.
Oh, yeah.
And that's from saying, okay, y'all, we got a bad situation here. Let's keep moving forward. We're 80% African American. We're the one getting sick. Let's protect ourselves.
Right.
But let's keep moving forward.
Yeah.
The businesses have come through. Those young people that was running those McDonald's and those chicken places and the grocery stores. Those people came through and kept that city running. Those youngsters did, and so they're heroes.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm proud of them.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned the fact that all that's fine and dandy. Leadership certainly has its place and it's very important. But a lot of that comes from trust, Mayor.
Right. That's right.
They look at City Hall.
That's right.
And they trust
That's right.
what's coming out of this. So they have no problem complying with certain things, listening to certain things, and you can't put a price tag on trust, can you?
Well, trust, you build trust by communicating. And I communicate regularly. If you guys know me, I'm on Facebook. I go Facebook Live, but I'm not formal. You know, I they used to talk to me about that. I can't be something that I'm not.
No.
I'm just going to be me. And so I talk to them. So we communicate a lot.
Right.
And you build trust by communicating. A lot of the people that work in City Hall live in the city.
Right.
Okay. And so during the pandemic, one of the things that we got out ahead of is that instead of, we sent them home and they work from home. So
Right.
we didn't have to furlough.
Right.
We sent them home. They worked from home. We didn't have to lay them off. And then when things got a little better, we brought them back and we got them situated now. But trust comes from communicating to the people.
Yeah. And when people say, well, the guy lives where I live, he works where I work, he worships where I worship.
That's right.
He plays where I play.
That's right.
Then typically, and it's a part of the human experience, at least it's been my experience, that we more readily relate to people that look like us.
That's right.
People that share certain traits and certain, what's the word I'm looking for? Certain psychologies,
That's right.
certain outlooks.
That's right.
These are the people that we tend to relate to more.
Right.
But again, at the end of the day, performance is really all that matters.
That's it.
What's been some of the biggest challenges for your city since the reopening of the economy has started?
To get them to understand that the pandemic, that this virus is still there. And to get them to use wisdom.
Right.
Because everything is open does not mean that you have to go there.
Right.
I mean, the drive-through was working.
Right.
You was getting your food through the drive-through.
Good point.
Okay. You were using your mask when you went to the grocery store before we opened it up and let the capacity in.
Right.
Still put your mask on when you go to the store to protect yourself. And don't forget about your family and your friends.
Yeah.
You wear a mask to protect you and to protect them. Our slogan is Masked Up Baker. Keep your distance and let's
Right.
save some lives.
Right.
Let's not forget what's going on here.
Yeah, because I shop at the Baker Walmart. I shop at the Shoppers Value.
That's right.
I don't want your COVID.
That's right.
All right? Just so you know.
Right.
I happen to shop there because I live in North Baton Rouge.
Right.
The governor last week came out with some pretty stern words for the population as we start to see our numbers kind of start to creep back up as more and more places are opening. How worried are you that we will see a surge in new cases now that the restrictions are being relaxed?
Well, we're going to see a surge. We're definitely, and Governor Evers he's done a great job, man. He's a great leader, another military guy.
Yeah.
With vision and wisdom. We're going to see that surge. My concern is in September and October, when that surge is starting to rise and the flu comes back.
Right.
And we can't tell the difference between the flu and the virus.
Or the two get together and morph into something completely different.
And so what we've done in Baker, we have created a community health committee.
Okay.
I have 3 doctors on there, a nutritionist, Chef Celeste, and a guy for exercise, because we realize that in the vulnerable groups, African Americans and our seniors, okay, and that's Latinos too, that we need to build our immune system.
Right.
And so that's what we're doing right now.
Okay.
They're going to start doing health webinars, talking about how to make your immune system stronger the best we can, because we can't tell who's going to get sick.
Right.
But we do know that we can take care of ourselves. We can eat better. We can take our medicine. We can go to the doctor like we're supposed to.
Right.
But we can build that immune system and be ready for it the best we can when it comes back, because it's coming back.
Yeah.
If you look at the history, it always comes back, and it's always worse the second time.
Kind of sounds like personal responsibility and accountability. We're going to make a conservative out of this guy before all is said and done. Can I get you to stick around for a few more minutes?
Yes.
Okay, let me get this break out of the way. We are talking with the distinguished mayor of the city of Baker, a friend to the show, Mayor Darnel Waits, and we're coming back with more as we roll our way through hour 2 of the Monday edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, right where you've got it, here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With private healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready. And health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
It says here that Eric Gaylord is back. Now, where's he been?
Well, I was told he had joined the CIA, trying to stop the Russians from stealing our election.
Vodka. Na zdоровье.
Na zdоровье.
3 elections.
That's right, the Clarence Bugg Show is back, along with the Exiles, Bill Profita and Kevin Gallagher. We've put the band back together, South Louisiana's talk team, and it's only on the Pelican. 10 a.m. till 12 noon, right here on the Pelican.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Welcome back to Hour 2 of our Monday edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. So very grateful that you have allowed us into your homes in the Gramercy, the Lutcher area, the New Orleans area, the Acadiana area, and of course the Capital Region here in the Baton Rouge area as well. We are spending some time with a great guy. Mayor Darnel Waits, mayor of the great city of Baker. He's one of those guys that loves what he does, loves where he lives, and loves helping people. I mean, you know, if you're going to run for an office like mayor, then obviously you hopefully only have the people's best interest at heart. And I can say without any hesitation, reservation at all, that that is his primary motivation. Now, you've got an election.
Yes.
Coming up.
Yes.
And I had Matt Watson, Metro Councilman running for mayor of EBR, on a couple of weeks ago. We had Metro Councilwoman Tara Wicker on, also running for mayor in EBR. It wouldn't be fair for me not to ask you the same question I put to them. Are you having second thoughts with all this 2016 flood and COVID-19 and tropical storm Cristobal? And are you starting to have second thoughts, Mayor?
Not at all.
Why not?
Not at all, because God has shown me a vision that's so real, and I got to move forward. I am under orders to move forward and serve these people and make that city one of the greatest cities around here. And I'm a part of what's going on in North Baton Rouge. They have to know that North Baton Rouge is real, that Tri-City area and the people that live there are real, and we want people to understand that we are open for business.
Yeah. It's got to be one of the most unique, strange, and, for lack of a better phrase, uncharted territory. Running a city, running a re-election campaign in the midst of a pandemic. What's that been like, Mayor?
Difficult. It's challenging. It's very, very, very challenging to try to be able to handle all those roles. And it's something that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemies. The city does not stop.
Right.
And things happen every day. And so you try to get information out. You can't use, we have our platform, but the pandemic is still there. So I still have to focus on the things there. And with the campaign, you got to run a campaign.
Right.
And so now it becomes more intimate with the people that you talk to about certain things. You can't be focused on the people that's running against you. You have to be focused on your platform and keep it going.
Right.
They have no idea what's going on. It's not their fault.
Right.
But you still have to come to work every day like you're going to be there the next 4 years.
What's it like, from your standpoint, understanding here you have a city to run, here you have a household that you're ahead of, that you want to keep safe and keep healthy, here you have a campaign going on. Oh, and by the way, you want to be sure to keep yourself safe and healthy.
That's right.
What's it like? I mean, I feel like you ought to be here in a jester's costume, juggling all these different balls in the air. What's that like?
It's just faith in what you do. It's scary because the whole time during the pandemic, my people are telling me, Mayor, you need to stay away. And I'm saying, no, I can't stay away because I can't look like I'm afraid. They want to see me where they see me, but I want to keep my distance. But you have to show, that's just part of the leadership. But it's truly been a challenge.
Oh, I know.
And we're writing the rules on that, on how to do this. But the only thing I can say, Clarence, and you know me, is that if it wasn't for my faith in God,
amen,
and God holding me up, I don't know how this would have turned out at this point.
Right.
But every morning I say, God, give me strength, and He gives me strength, and I move out.
I can relate, Mayor, for 40 years now. This summer will be my 40th year in broadcasting. And when hurricanes roll through, I am what's considered essential personnel. And I'll never forget my fiance, when we first started dating. Hurricanes getting ready to come through, so I bring her over to my mom's house, make sure that mom is well stocked, well supplied, fiance has everything that she needs. And then I turn to them and say, okay, I'm going. And they're like, going where? Don't you know there's a hurricane coming? I said, darling, you got to understand something. When people turn on that radio and they push that button, they expect that there will be a calm presence there disseminating information. The winds are swirling around. There's debris flying everywhere. They don't care about that. They need to know, when is this thing going to pass? What roads are open? How long is our power going to be out? Where are the rivers cresting? Where are they flooding? It's my job.
That's right.
It's what I do.
That's right.
And at the end of the day, it would be so convenient not to do that.
That's right.
But I got to look in the mirror, Mayor.
Right.
And I'm like a lot of people. I love my sleep.
That's right.
I will not be tossing and turning on that pillow at night because I didn't do my job.
That's right.
At the end of the day, Roger Cador, that just left, has a saying that I've adopted. Your job is to do your job.
That's right.
If everybody does their job,
that's right.
We're rolling down the road, and we are going to be better than we've ever been. With this pandemic, we've had all sorts of naysayers, doom and gloom, the whole night. How does Darnel Waits deal with those folks?
We need them. They're good folks to have. They allow you to realize that, okay, they're going to say this, but I'm going to act this way.
Right.
Because all I've done my whole life is overcome obstacles, which has made me stronger.
Oh, yeah.
Which has created the story that I tell.
Right.
Which drives me to create other stories.
Right.
You were talking about being essential. One of the greatest things that is that my family, my wife or my kids, they understand. Now, it's not always good. Now, we're going to keep it real. It's not always good. It's not always going to be perfect there.
Right.
It's like, sometimes I know she feels like I'm taking care of the world and she's here.
Oh,
you got to be here when the storm. You can't do anything when the storm rolls in.
Right.
But that support is strong. And she's been great throughout this whole deal. She likes to stay in the background, and that's fine with me. But you got to have that. But for those naysayers, I love them because all they do is make you work harder.
Oh yeah, to prove them wrong.
To prove them wrong.
And not always to prove them wrong, but to show them that there's another way.
It's always another way.
Yeah.
There's always another way. It's not about winning and losing. It's about keep moving forward.
Amen.
You got to, and the little small wins are the biggest things that people overlook. That they're looking. The saying is that just bite that elephant a little piece at a time.
Right.
You push. You're gonna build that tunnel a shovel of dirt at a time.
Right.
But eventually, you're gonna be able to move through there.
That's right. That's right. What are you hoping, Mayor, your legacy will be in the city of Baker?
That I came to work, I did what I told you I was going to do. I told you I was going to work hard every day on your behalf. I told you that no matter what color you were, that I was going to make sure that everybody got treated equally, and that we were going to take this city, even if we took it a mile, if it didn't go, that we didn't get everything accomplished, that when I left there, that people would be saying, that's a great city. And the last thing is, it would never be just about Darnel Waits. It would be about Darnel Waits and the city of Baker, the people that came out, those people who work behind the scenes to make things happen.
Yeah. How can folks in the great city of Baker that want more info about your campaign, how can they go about getting that?
Well, they can. We have a website. We are on social media, Team Waits 2020, and that's the best way to go on social media to do that. The other thing is to read the literature that I'm putting on the door. See, in Baker, they want you to come and knock on that door and ask for their vote.
Right.
And the pandemic slowed us down, so we're a little behind. So we're doing that. We don't get on the corner and show signs. We gonna knock on the door and say, hey, look, would you consider voting for me again?
Right.
If I'd appreciate it. If you don't, just pray for me. And that's my deal. And that's what we've been doing. But they can expect me to work up until the last hour because I really want to team up and do another 4 years with them again, and we can finish this, what we started.
If ever there was such a thing as proven leadership, there it is. There's the face, there's the stature, there the clothes on proven leadership. Floods, hurricanes, pandemics. And the good thing is, as is the case with most leadership, he's put in plan a place. So this ain't his first rodeo.
Right.
You simply plug and play, plug and go. And at the end of the day, personal responsibility and accountability aside, that's all reasonably any of us should be able to ask for.
Right.
My friend, it's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure.
As
Look,
always.
You've always been there for us. We made 100 coins.
Bless your heart.
About 6 months ago. It has the City of Baker seal on there, my name on
Bless
there.
your
Whether I'm
heart.
the mayor or not, you would
Marty, get the
remember
Lysol
our
and
friendship.
spray this down real quick.
Yes, indeed. Yep, that is the
Thank
mayor's
you, my
coin.
friend. Thank you, my friend. Mayor Darnel Waits and the great city of Baker. Bottom of the hour break, we get her done. And we'll come right back and continue on with hour 2 of our Monday edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, right where you've got it, here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Thank you much. I appreciate it.
For total home pest control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. taste the feeling.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Exiles from what you ask? Exiled from the radio. But now we're on your television.
I'm Bill Profita. He's Kevin Gallagher, and they kicked us to the curb.
But we're back.
We are back with Exiles Television on the Pelican Broadcasting Network. We're going to bring you the newsmakers. We're also going to take your calls and give you great information. It's going to be the best damn radio show on television.
Look for it on your cable system or download the app, PelicanSportsTV.com.
Hi, gang. Clarence Buggs here. Some big changes are coming to the Pelican and Cox Cable. July 15th, our numbers are changing. We're easier to find, and we're in high def. New Orleans, Gramercy, Lutcher, Acadiana, Patterson, Baton Rouge, new numbers coming, and a brand new signal. It all happens July 15th on Cox Cable. Do your buddy Clarence a favor, will you? Get all the details by checking your local guide.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Welcome back as we work our way through hour 2 of our Monday edition of the Clarence Buggs Show. As you probably saw in the previous commercial break, don't forget the Exiles, Bill Profita, Kevin Gallagher, will be in the chair, same bat time, same bat channel on the morrow. Yours truly will be back on Wednesday, the Exiles back on Thursday. You know, as a man of color, it is disheartening, some of the things that are taking place in our country, and as an American, for that matter. But I mention particularly as a man of color because something happened recently here in Baton Rouge that, not that it matters one way or the other, or as my late father would say, not that it amounts to a hill of beans, but there was something that happened in Baton Rouge that said a lot about who we are as people. Don't know how many of you are aware, outside of the capital region, that recently Baton Rouge elected a new superintendent of schools. And the school board, as is the case probably with most individuals or most municipalities, I should have said, the school board is responsible for making that ultimate decision. Let me say for the record, the individual I'm about to talk about, I do not know. Dawn Collins, D-A-W-N, female Dawn, not D-O-N as in male. Dawn Collins is a female African-American school board member here in East Baton Rouge. The decision, after a search was conducted, ultimately came down to the final two candidates. One was a black female. The other was a white female. The black female came from a district that had tons more resources than East Baton Rouge, did not have nearly as many African American students as East Baton Rouge, nor did the district she was coming from have nearly as many economically disadvantaged kids as Baton Rouge. And yet, the performance numbers from her district were only 1 percentage point better, the ELA scores, and in math, only 1 percentage point better than East Baton Rouge. The white female finalist, on the other hand, came from a district that was 6 times larger than East Baton Rouge, had many more African American students than East Baton Rouge, and lots more economically disadvantaged students than East Baton Rouge or the other finalists' district. And her numbers, improvement numbers, dwarfed East Baton Rouge and the first district combined. Dawn Collins, looked at the numbers, looked at the similarities between Baton Rouge and these other two districts, and came to the conclusion that the white finalist was the best person for the job. Why? Because, well, she's dealt with larger systems than ours. She's dealt with large numbers of black students and large numbers of economically disadvantaged youngsters or households. And she has spearheaded improvement that is beyond reproach. As you might imagine, a black female voting for a white female as opposed to voting for the black female brought the folks out in droves. Led by my fellow Baton Rougean, Gary Chambers, saying, quote, "Dawn, you voted against a black woman tonight. You just voted against a black woman with a PhD. You failed us tonight." Well, first of all, I beg to differ, Gary. Dawn Collins did not vote against a black woman. She voted for black children. I say again, Dawn Collins did not vote against a black woman. She voted for black children. She recognized that of the two candidates, only one has dealt in a system that is overwhelmingly black, like East Baton Rouge. Only one of the two candidates has worked for a system where the majority of households that attend public school are economically disadvantaged, like Baton Rouge. And the improvement scores for a system 6 times larger than Baton Rouge with pretty much the same racial makeup and the economic disparity, the approval numbers put EBR and the other finalists' district to shame. As you might imagine, the vitriol was not limited just to the immediate meeting. Let me say for the record, social media has its place. But sadly, a lot of folks, the keyboard warriors who revel in anonymity, will take liberties that are not theirs to take. Don Collins and I, for the record, are on completely opposite ends of the political spectrum. I'm big-time conservative. She's big-time liberal. But I applaud her for the decision that she made in honoring her oath to only do what's in the best interest of the children and their education. She eventually, after being called Uncle Tom, House N-word on social media and the whole nine, eventually released a statement that I'd like to share with you. It reads, "I didn't make a statement about my vote last night because I knew in that moment there was absolutely nothing I could say that would actually be heard. I should have said what I had to say anyway. For that, I apologize. But that is the only thing that I am apologizing for. Last night, certain people thought they had me pinned against the wall because I'm black, and quote, I had no choice. This is my response to them and to the parent in my district I responded to this morning. Dear parent, please do absolutely continue to be involved and hold us all accountable. I appreciate and respect your input, but it wasn't the only input I received. At the end of the day, I had to vote my conscience. There was absolutely nothing easy about last night's vote for me. I knew I would be falsely labeled as a result, but I stand by my vote. Do you realize that according to Tennessee's own Department of Education website, Dr. Towns, black female finalist, would have been coming from a district that is predominantly white and only 35% economically disadvantaged, but still only had 34% of their children on level for ELA and only 38% on level for math. That's literally worse than EBR's numbers in ELA, with ours at 40% and only slightly better in math, with ours at 31%. Meanwhile, from a district that is actually more complicated than our own, with 6 times as many students, 260,000, with 81% of those students being children of color, and a 56% poverty rate, Brown is coming from a district that significantly outperforms our own, and she's been there in positions long enough to actually take credit for some of that success. Poverty does not dictate the success of a child, but there are huge correlations between economic status and accountability results. How could Towns do better for a district with a student population that is 80% economically disadvantaged when she hasn't done better for a district with far less challenges? Because she has a degree from Duke and Vanderbilt? Do you know how many of our own classroom teachers have degrees that are just as great or better? Or would she do better because she hopped around in several high-profile jobs in both business and education fields? Why does she hop around so much? And what impact does that have on her management style and ability to commit to our children? It's okay because she's black? Unfortunately, just because something looks like us doesn't mean they are for us. Or maybe that's what you want to say about me, even though I previously voted for the stronger black candidates we had earlier in the process. Candidates that were pushed out, not only because the whites didn't want them, but because they were blackballed by special interests. If they were the types of blacks they could use, they would have gotten the job. And there you have it. On top of all that, behind the scenes, there were special interest groups pushing for the lesser black candidate. Why is that? As you might imagine, social media going crazy. But she ends with this. I voted my conscience. So if voting for the person who had a stronger record for moving children like ours forward, if that makes me a house, fill in the blank, then so be it. But I'm not taking that chance on our children. I'm sorry if that disappoints you. She ended her statement with this. I, as a member of the media and one who deals with the spoken word, may have, and I stress may, a greater appreciation for the written word. And when I saw how she ended this statement, again, understanding, I don't know Dawn Collins. Throughout my 40 years in broadcasting, I've had one conversation with her. So I know more of her than I do actually know her. But she finished the statement with the hashtag unapologetic, unapologetically black, unbought, and unbossed. Unapologetic. I make decisions based on facts and in the best interests of these children, and I will not apologize for it. Unapologetically black. I'm who God made me. I came here black, I will leave here black, and I will not apologize for it. Unbought. No one owns Dawn Collins. I don't care what you think, how much you may have given to a campaign, you cannot buy me. And as a result, I will not be bossed, bullied into making decisions that go against the oath that I took for this job. There's a marvelous opportunity here, y'all, and I'm gonna have to get her on the show because, again, she's over here on the liberal side, I'm way over here on the conservative side. The only thing we share in common is the color of our skin and only wanting what's best for education in East Baton Rouge. After that, we're on opposite sides of the political spectrum. But I'm so afraid if we're not careful, we will lose an opportunity to make better one of the things that continues to plague us, and that's substandard education in Louisiana. What a shame it would be if we didn't elevate education because we were too busy looking at the color of people's skin. Just saying. Final break of today's show. We'll bang this out, we'll come back, put a big old bow on it, and wrap this puppy up. The Monday edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, right where you've got it, here on the Pelican. Stay close.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
That's right, the Clarence Bugg Show is back, along with the Exiles, Bill Profita and Kevin Gallagher. We've put the band back together, South Louisiana's talk team, and it's only on the Pelican. 10 a.m. till 12 noon, right here on the Pelican.
Hello. Hola. Ni hao.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Welcome back to the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. A couple of observations before we get out of here for the day. Here in this country, we have, in recent memory, seen a lot of violence related to the murder of black men by law enforcement officers. Although since 2015, there's been a 41.5% drop in those cases. Did you notice this weekend, Father's Day weekend, city of Chicago, one of the most heavily regulated as far as firearms are concerned cities in America. In Chicago this weekend, at least 100 people were shot, 14 fatalities, just in the city of Chicago alone. Of the 14 fatalities, there were 2 teenagers and a 3-year-old. I'm wondering when the protest marches are going to start. And that's all I got to say about that. Another observation. Yesterday, as I'm relaxing around the house and coming to the conclusion that Father's Day is winding down and is back to the grind on Monday, I stumbled across channel surfing, The Little Rascals. Oh my God, talk about brought back childhood memories. Spanky, Alfalfa, Froggy, Buckwheat, the whole gang. And I'm sitting there watching The Little Rascals, and then it dawned on me. There ain't no way in hell they could make this today. With society being what it is today, can you imagine debuting this brand new kid show, The Little Rascals, and have it like it is back then? We would lose our freaking minds. Which, by the way, leads me to another observation. The liberals' answer to, quote, fixing cartoons. Have you seen the latest? If you're a baby boomer, you're familiar with Looney Tunes. cartoons, right? Donald Duck, Daffy Duck, Bugs Bunny, Yosemite Sam, the whole nine, all the cartoons we grew up with. Well, the libs now have decided we need to fix the cartoons with Daffy Duck and Yosemite Sam. Elmer Fudd. Yeah. So the new ones that they're making now, guns are not allowed because we all know guns are the problem. Now, Elmer Fudd, Daffy Duck, now have, instead of firearms, dynamite and sickles. Curved blades like this long and dynamite. So let's see. We can't have them cartoon characters with guns. It's going to influence our children. But we can give them dynamite and sickles. It's a disease called liberalism, y'all. That's what you end up with. They never stop to ask themselves, well, boomers like Clarence at Glen Oaks High School, when he went there, they just started integration. You couldn't count all the guns in the gun racks in the student parking lot. All the pickup trucks had at least one, some of them two or three. And with all the fights we had at school, never once did a white guy consider going to the parking lot, getting his gun, and coming back and shooting up the school. Never once did a black student, after getting in a fight, decide, I'm going to go to the student parking lot, break in this truck, get a gun, and go back and shoot up the school. So apparently, the guns are not the problem. Some of y'all not going to get that till later, but that's okay, as long as you get it. My time's up, y'all, and I got to go. But today, more than any other time, it is a pleasure for me to say, you know what? You are so very right. America, we're not perfect, but doggone it, for my money, it's the best there is. And God knows there is no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you do realize by now that he loves you, right? And I hope you know, even if it's in the smallest of terms, that I do too. Best news you gonna get all day, son. There ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. I'll make you a deal. Take care of yourselves. Let's take care of each other. And we'll do it again on Wednesday. See you then. God bless.